My name is Christian Zimmermann, and let me introduce myself a bit in this video. Also, I would like to introduce my idea of this series, which is called A Question of Reason. So, I was born in Switzerland in 1980, and when I grew up, I of course came to school, but even in kindergarten already, I loved technology somehow. And when I went to school, we had a class called crafts. So you had to do a craft. And what I built was a safe out of wood. That's what I built. I loved technology and I loved math. I went into physics later in my high school. And when I had to choose my uni direction, I chose electrical engineering and information technology. And then I graduated. Really, that was my passion, profession-wise. And now I work as audio and video algorithms engineer. And also in my free time, I started to read physics books of the masters themselves. For instance, Einstein and Feynman. And that's really what you should do. Don't read the commentators, read those who had those theories themselves. That is powerful stuff, and I loved it. So yeah, I am much into this science thinking. I understand science, I would say. And you would now think I'm an atheist, right? But that's actually not true. I am a believer in God, and I mean, I would call myself a Christian, but even that is an understatement because, yeah, many people call themselves Christians. So I would call myself a disciple of Christ. That is not a arrogant term, that is a very humble term because I acknowledge that I'm still just learning. A disciple is learning. Disciple means a student, actually, in Greek. So I am somebody who really wants to become like Christ and learn to live this spiritual life as Jesus showed us how. And now, how does that fit together? I do a video series on a question of reason because I do believe reason is our tool we have to distinguish truth from falsehood. And now I'm coming with faith. Does that even fit in any way together? I do believe it does. And we have, even in the scriptures, this evidence that, well, the scriptures claims to be reasonable. Let's go into this. I would like to show this to you from the Bible. This is Acts 26, 23 to 25. Let's read this. So Paul is speaking here. He defends his case in front of the king, a Roman king. And he says, the Christ would suffer and as a first to rise from the dead, would proclaim light to his own people and to the Gentiles. And of course, the resurrection from the dead is a very insane claim to all scientists. And also now Festus says, at this point, Festus, the king, interrupted Paul's defense. You are out of your mind, Paul, he shouted. Your great learning is driving you insane. And that's, of course, sometimes an answer I get when I come with the resurrection of Christ. But now Paul, very calmly, I imagine, he says, well, I'm not insane. Most excellent Festus, because, yeah, an insane person would be in the care home, isn't it? Paul replied, what I am saying is true and reasonable. So Paul is really claiming here that his faith is true and reasonable. So you can examine it by reason. And even I want to go to another scripture. This is Luke 1, 1 to 4. This is the companion of Paul also, but he's a very learned person, and Luke is the best Greek of all the New Testament. He's a doctor, he's really a scientist. And he says, to start his gospel, many have undertaken to draw up an account of the things that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed down to us by those who from the first were eyewitnesses and servants of the word. Therefore, since I myself have carefully investigated everything from the beginning, it seemed good also to me to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, so that you may know the certainty of the things you have been taught. So here's a man who really investigated, thoroughly, interviewed people, the eyewitnesses, and so on. So he really claims to be reasonable. And that's what I try to show in the upcoming videos. A question of reason, bit by bit, one after the other, why the Christian faith is really reasonable and trustworthy. So thanks for watching. All the best. Have a good day, everybody. So far. See you then. Bye.